Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily. Now, more than ever, our data is at risk. Our supply chains are in jeopardy. Our systems are broken, and businesses feel powerless. Dragonchain gives you a different way, a safer way, a better way, and you have power over your data. Dragonchain gives you proof in an untrusted world. Build now at Dragonchain.com, America's blockchain.
All right, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky episode 5D, 0x5D. It's the 94th episode. This week in the updates, we have Number Go Up, sponsored this week by the Science and Space Tech Lair, which has 46 individual owners and more than 9 million ownership NFTs held between them. This week on Number Go Up is the number of new layers, obviously, because it is the end of the May 2021 LCP commitment phase, and 10 new layers were created. You guys optimized that. I was actually kind of frustrated because I didn't get in on all of them. But either way, 10 new layers will be created. Over 6 million new lore. 6 million lore was committed. So basically we'll be producing another 6 million lot. And that's about $30,000 worth of lore. So the winners were Psychedelic Science, Middle Earth, Instrumentals, Music Producers Kits, Random, Node Runner, Economy and Finance, Dinlog, Travel and Photography, and Smart Contracts. So it was really pretty cool because the unique voter count was actually optimized to get the max number. Give us about a week to get them all created and the lot out there. The proposers and the top lore voter in each of those layers will have admin rights until the full layer governance features are rolled out. The governance vote this week is going to be on lowering the number of winners in the next LCP. We were thinking about going to 1 and 1 instead of 5 and 5. So watch for that and give your feedback. You know, if anything, we can change that number, but we want to slow it down a little bit, or at least it makes sense. I think a lot of other people are talking about the fact that maybe too many are being created right now. So another thing that I want to give you an update on, a recent blog that was just published, I think this morning, on incentivizing behavior and loyalty with Dragonchain. Really good set of info on our loyalty capabilities and how they can be looked at and used in the real world, including in some very unique ways that a lot of people don't realize is possible right now. So go check that out. Give us feedback, give us comments. There should be a post in Den as well that you can comment on and ask any questions about it. That's it for the updates. We'll be right back with the AMA.
BXC Exchange is a safe, easy-to-use, U.S.-compliant exchange.
Because cryptocurrency is such a young industry, there's still a real lack of transparency.
So we are actually using Dragonchain's technology to help solve these transparency issues.
BXC partnered with Dragonchain to take advantage of their anti-fraud and transparency systems.
So using Dragonchain's technology, we're actually able to use provably fair tech to verify that our order books and trades and executions are all very transparent to our users. This alone makes BXC the only provably fair exchange in the entire world.
I have more than 20 years experience doing large, technically complex projects. One of the things that I was really pleased with in working with Dragonchain is that it allowed us to do the integration with their technology very quickly.
That's what makes Dragonchain and this a perfect partnership.
All right, welcome back. So this week we're doing an AMA, and we're going to end up making this a permanent feature of how we do AMAs on Super Happy Dragon Lucky, that we will post an AMA with probably some level, if there is, of any focus that we would like, and anybody can then ask a question, probably for an entire week. Then we'll come in and answer them in the order that they are ranked in Den, and the goal is to run Super Happy at no longer than 30 minutes. So the rule is I'm going to answer questions until we hit the 30-minute mark, and hopefully I'll see it exactly, and then we'll move on. And there'll be a couple more updates next week on format changes and some other interesting stuff we're doing. So that said, your most burning questions. So this week we're starting with Spansel. Okay, when will withdrawals be implemented in the console? And that's the Dragonchain console. He's talking about the steps necessary to remove the limits and to make it possible for users to pay fees from their own wallet, as opposed to as right now in the console, you pay fees in Dragons. And I think people would like to pay the fees in Ethereum just to move it around and to get their full amount of Dragon out, and then to be able to also control when they do it. So all of those things would be great. That's the way that we do stuff in Den, because we built some new contracts to do that. So, I mean, the answer about when, I don't know, as soon as possible. I would love to have this, but we have so many things going on that it hasn't happened yet. So just know we have the code already. It would be a reasonable amount of work to integrate it, especially across console, because it has a couple of special features related to the way that dragons are brought in. But we're working on it, so just know that. Let's see here, Dog Mom. In the future, could we have a verified user? And this is in the Den platform. Could we have a verified user status where you can privately FaceTime with a Den employee to verify yourself, or get a badge or something like that? Thanks, that would be helpful. We agree. Right now, we obviously don't have a formal way to do this, but it can be done. So if there is a reason that you need or wish to prove your, not necessarily your identity, but that you're a real person, absolutely, we will do this. We'll figure out, who you would FaceTime with or connect with over an online meeting other than Zoom, and we could make that happen. Now, in the future, we're going to plug in Dragon Factor, and we have, including with MiFi, and we have that on the roadmap. We've started the conversations around how to, I guess, where to integrate first and how. And another piece is even what identity factors and how they would be proven would be included. So there's a lot of discussion around that on, it would be helpful if we could let people verify their phone number and their email. We have the email, but in a way that, how do I say, could help us prove your identity more readily. And there is obviously the potential to include some incentive for a KYC, where Den and Dragonchain would never hold your identity info, but there would be a KYC that at least proved that you were a real and unique human on the system that has some level of official paperwork, right? So there's that, and hopefully that'll be in soon. Next, Johnny M. Will there be a way to export node verifications to CSV file or a similar format? Ideally, in the end, yes. That's one more of those things that we would have liked to have seen for quite a while, but we haven't had the time to build that out. So the data's there, obviously, so it shouldn't be too bad. And maybe that'll happen in the near future. That would be a simple add for certain. It'd be actually great to let people have a better tool set to analyze their results, right? Okay, next, Crypto Luthar. Looks like Disney just patented a blockchain, something. Let's see if I have her. Tell me. It's basically related to, if I remember right, it was something with, it was something with streaming and rights. I saw something from one of the discussions, so I don't know the details. I've not looked and read the patent or anything, but it sounds familiar to some of the things that I gave feedback on when I was there surrounding a patent that was related to piracy and other things. But I have no idea if that's the same patent. And as to whether they're building something, having a patent doesn't mean you'll build something to it. Having a patent is what it is. It's IP, and it's valuable for a lot of reasons. But it doesn't mean that it's a system they are building. But if it were a system they were building, we don't know anything about it. So that might be the answer you're looking for, that we're not involved with it. And, it came through the press, and I think we were mentioned in one of the articles, but I have no idea about that project. So next up, Vin. As we evolve as a platform, the pivot for the eval of the marketplace has been consensus. The first version is outlined in the white paper under implementation until the recent change did always involve quorum as the sole component. With experience, not sole component, sorry. Quorum isn't the sole component, but either way. With experience, the new element of energy has been introduced into consensus also as a component. Okay, that was there in the original. There has been discussion on bringing in time or carryover of consensus over time in some form and engagement, deeper levels of reply threading, number of comments and responses, etc., into consensus too. Is there some thinking from the Den team and governance team on studying this in greater detail to see if this can ramp up the efficacy of the marketplace, and a roadmap and thoughts for the same? Definitely. I mean, we're constantly thinking about it. I'm thinking about it anytime it comes up as a solution to any of these potential attacks. So we have a couple of different angles there in doing this, that we want to watch for real attacks and listen to anybody who has suspicions. But when we look at those potential attacks or those alleged or suspicious activity, that's when we really decide, is this attack a real attack? Is it just something that we can't really determine that's following all of the terms and conditions and the philosophy of Den? So there's a lot of that we do have to do. But at the same time, we have a number of ways to address the various concerns within each of these algorithms. So when mining occurs, the most interesting thing about Den's model is that given that we want the best content, we want to award the best content. But how do you decide what is the best content? So our methodology was to break it into separate communities, and from those communities, allow an evaluation marketplace, a prediction market on whether this content will be judged as good by this community. So the way the marketplace works is you decide if it's good content or bad content, and then you decide how much you would bet or put weight on that signal, on that opinion that you think this is good content, because it stretches those two apart. And if you are correct in the best and the worst content, and you are the earliest signal, then you stand to get the biggest reward. And that is extremely important to the system, because those numbers from that evaluation marketplace are what determines by quorum, consensus, and weight the amount of reward that each piece of content gets. So that was a big loop, but it's very important. And when we first started, we had the quorum. What we want to do with that quorum, right now it's a fixed number. If you can look in the white paper, we want it, and it's even written in the white paper, we want it to be variable based upon active user count inside of each community. And there are a number of reasons for that based upon what we've seen in Telegram and elsewhere. But that quorum has always been there. But early on, and this is kind of maybe what you're getting to in this question, sorry it's so long. Early on, we were taking the net weighting by energy as the input to the award. We still had the quorum, we still had the consensus numbers that were there. So if you have 100% consensus versus 20% consensus, it was affecting, you were multiplying that times the net energy, which meant if you had 99% of people upvoting you, there was definitely an issue because these people could upvote you, let's say one each. So you have 99 energy up. It's great. But let's say that you have one person vote you down and they counter that 99 positive energy with 5,000 negative energy. So you have a massive amount of negative energy. And even though 99% of people think that it was good content, you were still not being rewarded, right? And so we found that there were legitimately attacks that occurred. And whether you call them attacks or not, it was an inefficiency in the system that led to those people canceling out the majority of people's consensus on the quality of that content. Okay. So what we did is we instead retained the quorum number, we retained the consensus number, and we changed the way we calculated the energy for the purpose of determining the proportion of content that, or of the pool that quality content gets, which is the massive pool. And in that, what it means is that in the same case where you have 99% up at one energy each, and you have one person voting down 5,000 energy, that instead of getting 0 reward, that person gets the equivalent of 5,099 energies proportion of that day's energy, because its adjusted energy would be that full number at more than 100% quorum and at 99% up. So anyway, that's what that is, and it's a very complex issue to understand. So I understand when people don't. And we have a couple of now other angles we're working on for any potential attack on the consensus measure itself, on again that quorum number. There are a lot, and we've detailed it heavily in Den. So if you're interested, go look at it. Look at time. All right, we're at 18 minutes. Crypto Lothar. When can we expect factor implemented in Den? It sounds like 99% of spam issues should be solved by that. Some of them will, because I think there's even spam though with referral codes and things like that from some people that are very crypto focused, which maybe it's understandable in some layers. We would like it as soon as possible. Like I said in the other question, we've already started to look at how to integrate it first. Something that I didn't mention up there that will be I think vitally important is having factor in will allow us to have the user actually signing every message in a very simple way. For security and for identity reasons, it's very valuable. And the other side of it is flags. And if you remember, in the very, very, very early days of Den, we had a concept where all new users had a flag that was near to unchangeable, and it was deterministically based on various factors of their sign up. Okay, their address, their user ID, things like that. And it was interesting because it would give you a different type of a flag, and there were enough variety in color and layout that it is something that you could look at, and no matter if Crypto Lothar changed his avatar tomorrow, that flag he would always recognize. Oh, that's Lothar's flag, and it would be an interesting thing because it means it's just that much harder to impersonate someone. Yeah, I can't just come in with Crypto Lothar's avatar that I could download and make a name that looks like his, and then go forward. That the flag, it would be near to impossible for me to get the flag the same. And so there's a whole complex way that we want to build out the flag system, but I think it's going to be really valuable. So that's coming. And right now, new users, I think, still do start with a flag before you change avatars. So anyway, next up, Clutch. What is the latest status with Dragon Factor MiFi? Last we heard there was a partnership with Zen, but also wanted to know when we could actually use the wallet. What's the timing for? Okay, geez. Next time I'll only say one question per, but I'll answer all these. MiFi, it's been rolling out. We have implementation in one app that is in beta. I think will be coming out soon. That is a customer's app. We have another implementation in one of our partners' systems that's being built out right now. Again, we're going to try to get it plugged into Den, and our partners that we started MiFi with have a series of other groups that are interested or already, I guess, getting ready to build on MiFi. So that's good. What is the timing for Den Mobile to go? Oh, I didn't answer Zen. Sorry, I didn't answer Zen. I don't know. I've not looked lately. I haven't asked. We need to check into that. I think we might even try to get him on the show at some point. So maybe we'll wait and ask him then. Anyway, what's the timing for Den Mobile to go on iOS or Play Store? Relatively soon. We're waiting on a couple of extra things in the UI that we're wanting to do, particularly with tagging maybe before we do it, because it'll make it easier in case there's something not safe for work or whatever else. We'll have an answer for the App Store. So hopefully soon. When can we expect a Dragon Explorer? Many view this as an important tool for a distributed ledger. Dragon Explorer. It's an interesting thing. It's already there if you're running a business node for your node. That is, your node's building its own chains out of the chains of other nodes. So, I guess we've looked at this before, and although we could put in an Explorer across all L2s, the issue is that some of them are, I don't know what the best word would be to describe this. They can go away because your level 1 is the one that assembles everything that matters to you for business. So there were too many complexities, and it's better used as a tool for the actual utility application that was built. So, all right, thank you. And then let's see here, Crypto Lothar, would it ever be possible to make a liquidity pooling system or even a staking system for Dragon that does not kill your time? Yes, it's obviously possible. We're going to be, let's see here. We're going to be doing some things in Den for the farming components that will be somewhat similar, and in ways that we could then do it on Dragon, where we could. There's some very interesting things that we can do with Dragonchain that we're going to first try inside of Den. That's the easiest answer, and hopefully it'll be soon. I don't have a real answer, but on the timing. Juggler, could Den introduce a referral program to increase marketing and create an incentive for denizens to introduce more denizens? Definitely. I believe that we have a plan for it that would involve using the same referral codes, or at least the same mechanism that we use for shares right now. If I click the share button on this comment and I tweet it, I will get awarded out of a pool for all of the unique clicks. And the assumption is we would do the same thing, but we don't know if it would tie that if you shared a comment and then someone registered an account versus a fundamental click here to join type referral. So we have to figure stuff like that out, but I want to do it. And I imagine it would operate out of a pool of matter every day. But maybe there could be other rewards. I don't know. Let's see here. This is YM Dragon. How does Wormhole work? Are there any plans to use it in the future? I'm very excited about this feature. So there are a number of different ways that wormholes work. The simplest, well, maybe not simplest, the first one that we built is the way that dragons work inside of DragonNet and how they connect to dragons on Ethereum. That it's either cold wallet or smart contract, receipt for deposit, and then Web3 for withdrawal or sending back, and a couple of other interesting pieces. And that's simple, but inside of if you're talking about direct from Ethereum to let's say Binance, right? That you could send a token, and there are a bunch of different ways you could do this, but the simplest is obviously you send a token into a smart contract on Ethereum. That Dragonchain works in the middle and acts as the oracle between the two chains. And you can decentralize that or not. And depending upon what you're doing, there are a lot of different options on how you can handle the economic impact. I mean, you could make it so that they don't have the same supply number on both sides. Obviously, it's best to do it up front. You can also make it so they can only potentially hold so much of the total supply. Maybe any one chain that you wormhole between can only hold 60% of the total supply or something like that. There are a lot of interesting things you can do, and people could then move their tokens to a chain when they're not as worried about security, but where they need them to move more often and cheaper, right? Things like that. So, and there are some plans to use it. We have an active inquiry from one of our customers that is seriously talking about it for a number of reasons, between two different public chains and Dragonchain, where their core system is built. So that's in the works. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's really exciting. It's very interesting stuff. So pumpers, let's check time. All right, we have 2 minutes. Pumpers, what happens to matter for a boost that is not recovered by the booster? Is it burned? Does it go to a daily pool, or does it go to Den? It goes to a daily pool for the evaluators. So it's interesting that I thought there was a mistake in one of the payouts recently, because I got a larger than normal evaluation reward. And I asked the devs, and as it turns out, that day where the normal reward was 50 matter for evaluation, that on that day, the total was like 150 matter. It was about 150 something dollars at the time, just for the evaluators, because enough of the boosted content had not performed well enough to to pull back all of their matter. So that went to the evaluators. Pretty cool. It worked. Let's see here. Crypto Lothar, when can we expect metrics updates faster than once a day? I did check, because I saw this. I looked, spanned through the questions, and I did check with the devs. If we are correct, because it's been a while since we've been in that system, that the metrics are calculated every hour. So there is a potential that we could turn it on for an hourly update. We'd have to change some of the charts or make some not update until after end of day or something like that. But it's possible. So that it would actually be a really good thing to do and a pretty decent priority. And last up, because we have a few seconds left, could time be converted to a token? I'm sure it could. And that is it. So thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.